Spawning here in the bottom left, representing China, the monster Terran, Mihu.
As opponent here on the top spawn, we have our Hungarian, I think, Zerg.
Yeah,
Sziky.
yeah. I call him the Hungarian dragon because of his muteless micro.
Okay, so I'm excited for a couple reasons here. Not only is it I get to watch Mihu, and as a Terran player, it's hard not to be a Mihu fan.
Right.
But I'm also a big Sziky fan, and I don't think I've ever, as much as I've watched Sziky recently, I don't think I've seen him play a ZVT yet.
He's so good at it as well, right? So I'm looking for special things here, and I just want to point out best spawn position scenario for Sziky. The bottom left is the toughest spot for Terran to defend against Mutalist Harass. It's nothing to do about the natural expansion. It's actually to do with this big dead zone in the bottom left. It's so easy for the Mutalist to swing round from the bottom of the natural into the main base, and there's no safe place to build your tech buildings as Terran.
Yeah. Yeah, I banned this map because of TVZ only. Like, this is the only reason I hate this map, right? Like, even the reverse ramp for TVP, it's like bearable, right? You can kind of deal with it. And with Zerg, it's so hard with the turret placements and the way the dead zones like are playing out work.
Yeah.
It almost forces Valkyrie builds a lot of the time, and
yes.
I don't know Valkyrie builds.
Yeah, and then even if you can Valkyrie micro, you'll mess it up in the game, even if you know how to do it, right? There's no real like easy way of doing it. But actually, Sziky, he's mixing things up, man. He's going hyper aggressive with a very quick pull with speed and putting on a lot of pressure to Mihu. And Mihu went for a wall in. So, I mean, he might get some compensation for this Ling aggression.
Yeah, we'll see. There's going to be that one gap wall for Mihu, since you can no longer full wall this map. Thank God. That was even as a Terran player, I'm not a big fan of easily full wallable maps. I just think it's so unfair for Zerg. But
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Is this 2 gap or 1 gap? It might be 2 actually.
Is it 2? I thought it was 1, but maybe it's 2.
I thought it was 1, but he's putting SCVs here, which makes me think I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Mihu would know best, right? Like, he's like the flash of the Chinese scene. I think it's 1 gap on the left only, though, right? I think it's only this hole. I could be crazy, but I think it's only that 1 hole.
Okay, you're right. I'm losing my mind. Okay, we're fine.
Okay.
Sorry. So yeah, gonna find no damage here with this opening as Sziky, and I think we made. Did he make 8 lings total as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 10,
we made
10,
more.
10,
oh my
10,
God.
10. Oh no, more.
Oh,
12.
we're still making lings.
All
right.
You can do this if they don't have the SCVs preemptively ready to repair. Like, you need like 3 or 4 SCVs just ready to repair right away. He's only got 2, so there is still a chance of breaking this depot in the middle before the Marines can kill all the lings.
Yeah, but he's cutting no Marines, right? Like, it's just non-stop Marines. There's going to be 4 to 5. I think it's 5 Marines are going to be out here.
Oof, that's rough.
That's not looking good for Sziky.
There's even another SCV on standby to get to that depot to help repair that up a little bit as well. Yeah, Sziky was kind of hoping that Mihu would make some cuts. Lings are now attacking the wall, trying to get optimal DPS on that depot. If he gets 3 SCV, okay, he doesn't actually get the repair off, so maybe he can create a hole to actually still do a lot of damage to the Marines, but it's still gone pretty bad for Sziky. He's lost pretty much all of those Zerglings for killing a depot. About as bad as it gets, man. That's going to just be game. Yeah, I guess he had like a 1% chance of winning still, but probably not even that. Like, against someone of Mihu's caliber, that's approaching 0%.
Yeah. Well, you hit it for Sziky. Not a great start for him in these 2 games here, but he did go for it. I guess maybe you're afraid of Mihu's later game. Like I said, I've never seen him play ZVT, and this is my first exposure to it, so I'm hoping to...
Well, he does have a bit of a slightly unorthodox style. He's one of those Terrans that's almost has like a turret ring TVP setup where he's happier to spread out his turrets a bit more rather than just having them all isolated into like the normal positions. He's a lot more flexible with how he defends against Muta Harass. He's honestly really good at it. He doesn't take hardly any damage from the Muta Harass stage, generally speaking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, looks like our next game is going to be on, I believe, Radeon. Okay, Radeon will be the next map, so more likely to get a longer game here. So we can hop straight into that one. Let's go.
Let's get it. Spawning here in the bottom left, eOnzErG representing Hungary, Sziky.
His opponent here in the bottom left, one of the best, if not the best, foreign Terran. We have Mihu from China.
I think the best is safe to say. I mean, he did go on a stint where he lost a few CSLs. He lost like I think 3 in a row or something. But even so, he's still regarded as like the top dog in the Chinese scene.
Yeah, makes sense. He's kind of a beast. All right, so I'm gonna get our game here on Radeon. We'll see if Sziky wants to go for something a little less all-in aggressive here to start us off.
I hope so, man. I want to see, you know, some Mutalisk micro from Sziky. He's so good at it. And against Mihu, there's no better challenge outside of Korea.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine that Sziky's meter control has to be pretty insane, just even from watching him as ZVZs and stuff, right? Like,
it's pretty special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can get pretty good at Mutalisk control even as a low rank player if you just play a lot of Muta micro maps and know what you're doing. What did we just see? He just like glitched out all of his SCVs. Like, I don't know if that was a mistake or if he's like trolling, like I don't need good saturation against these foreigner players. I don't know if that's like some weird diss or if that's just a massive mistake. Because sometimes you'll see like someone like the Korean players like kill their own drone or something at the start of a game when they're that confident. So I wonder if it's a little bit of BM or if that was just a mistake.
Yeah, it looked like just a bit of a missed box select, honestly.
It did seem like that, yeah.
Yeah, because he grabbed like 4 SCVs and then had to like sort it back out. So yeah, not sure. I definitely have had. So it doesn't happen to me anymore. Maybe I grew out of it or something, but I used to have like almost like hand spasms only when I was playing the StarCraft, where like my hand would just like jerk randomly. That's what it looked like to me just happened.
Playing too much and your hand muscles just start spasming. You can't keep up with the pressure. Quick drone scout. Going to be identifying that it doesn't have to worry about playing a game against mech or 2-port Wraith or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, interestingly, it's also a non-wall build from Mihu, which is kind of surprising because these top spawns are pretty good for it. Like, your Marines do come out on the wrong side, and maybe that's what he wanted to avoid because of that first game, maybe?
I think exactly that, yeah. That's exactly why he's doing this. This looks like the more old school games we had. Like, I mean, back in the sort of like Fighting Spirit era, this is kind of how the Terrans were playing every single time. No wall-ins hardly at all, just, you know, very standard FE stuff, and he's gonna eventually float the barracks over. Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny seeing him do this. So it looks like was this 1 Raxacan? This is going 2 Raxacan.
It's a 2 Rax. Right? It's 2 Rax, yeah.
So it's funny that he did this with the barracks because I had a game where I played against Droney, and I did that where I made my barracks on the high ground and then floated it over after. And I was like ashamed of doing it because I was like, this is so dumb. Now that I just decided that I'm going to do the wall now. But now that I see Mihu doing it, I was doing the academy. It's so interesting.
Yeah, this is unorthodox to say the least, but I actually kind of like it. I think it's a great variation, knowing that you're against a guy that's capable of throwing out the 9 pool.
Yeah, well, so this is perfect because specifically why I felt dumb doing it, because it was like I sat here and I was like, you can't make the 2 depots that you want for so long because you don't want to over depot, but he does it with the academy. This solves the problem that I was running into.
And he's baited Sziky into going for Ling aggression because Ziki's like, okay, well, you're not going to have a wall, so I'm going to punish you. But there is in fact a wall, but there's a little bit of a gap on the right hand side, so some Lings are actually getting good surface area on those Marines. He does do a pretty good job of killing most of these Marines, just 2 surviving. It's not ideal because ideally you want to kill all of those Marines, but honestly, it's better than just not doing anything with those links. You've now got compensation. Your muta phase is going to be a lot stronger. This is one of the better case scenarios, considering there was actually a wall in there.
Well, the thing that's so great for him too is we killed all the Marines, so this 2x of cat timing is like dead now, right? Like he can't really push, so we can kind of skip that second sunken that we normally make to defend against this, and he can just go one sunken into Muta. So yes, he did lose a lot of lings, which does mean his drone counts a little bit suffered for it, but he does get to cut that second sunken, so there's a little bit of compensation for it.
Honestly, the drone count isn't bad. Like he's got the 9 main, 5 natural. That's about what you want to be aggressive without being greedy. I think this is still fine for him. I actually think this went really well for Sziky. Like, he could have so easily been dead in the water with those lings and finding no compensation, and then he has to make 2 sunkens and then delay the mutas to the point where he doesn't feel good about it at all. But now this is actually looking like one of the better case scenarios for our Zerg.
Yeah, I like this position here for Sziky. So muta's going to be coming out, so we basically got to kind of skip the harass phase here from the 2 racks of CAD. And yeah, we just get to go into a normal game where Sziky's going to be relatively comfortable. There's not going to be any threat on him for a while.
Yeah, and take notice of the turret spread from Mihu. Like, he does a slightly unorthodox style where the turrets are just a little bit more spaced out. Like, the turret in the main is, like, below the minerals. It's not really weird, but it's just slightly different from the other Terran players.
Yeah, I did start doing that recently, actually, because Hawk helped me with my turret placement a fair amount in this matchup. And, yeah, he kind of got me doing that a little bit here with the turrets as well.
Yeah. It's actually quite good. Yeah, it's actually quite good to do it like this. As long as you've got the safety turret under the gas, it's not a bad thing at all. Like you can see here now, he can't just camp in the corner without taking damage, and Mihu can cut off his path of retreat. He is killing quite a few SCVs though, but losing a muta doesn't feel great.
Yeah, 1 muta for, what, 4 or 5 SCVs?
It's pretty worth it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, we're actually even on drones. Our workers. Mihu's he was only at 20 SCVs, right? Like that is a very, very light saturation for Mihu right now.
He's got quite a lot of turrets in the natural, but the weak point is going to be this main base. So Mihu's going to have to keep his Marines active in the main base to try and stop this from depot from going down. If he loses that depot, it's going to be a little bit problematic. He's already pretty behind on schedule with his timings of his how many SCVs he's got, and now if he loses this depot, he's going to be put further behind.
Yeah, this is amazing muta control. This is not disappointing me at all.
I told you. Almost makes you wonder if he shouldn't have bothered going for the 9 pool on Dominator, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it did at least give me something to think about going into it, but I mean, Mihu is going to stabilize. There's a lot of turrets. That's 6 in the natural right now.
He's expecting all in mutas. He's scanning to see there's no transition, and he'll keep making turrets until he sees the transition.
Alright, there's no... What's the tech timing here for Mihu? Do we have... Okay, factory just now started.
Very late factory. You want that at 7 minutes, and he's got it at just before 8. But he's pretty sure this is more or less all in muta, and it kind of is right now. There's a lot of lings that are being pulled as well, so he can maybe backstab the natural while the muta's distracting the main base. There is a bunker there for safety, which is really nice from Mihu. That's going to make the muta ling stab a little bit less effective, but could still kill this bunker and rain a bit of havoc down here in the natural once that bunker gets popped.
Yeah, it does expose the academy, which can be pretty nice because it's going to stop any medic production. So if he gets any medic kills after this, there's only 3 medics out on the field. Did we queue some up? No, we didn't even queue any up, so there's going to be essentially no medics for these Marines long term.
Yeah, he's going to remake that academy, so eventually it's going to be okay, but for the time being, there is definitely opportunity for Sziky to run it down in the main base with these mutas, but he is killing quite a few of them, and this is pretty all in muta. Like, he didn't even take a 3rd gas at his expansion. He's just trying to run it down with muta ling.
Yeah. Does clear at least all the turrets here, so exposes this area a little bit. Misflick there, muta goes down. And supply is starting to even up now, and the starport's on the way in. Basically, anything that comes out of that starport is kind of the nail in the coffin against this build.
That scan from Mihu was sick, by the way, to identify where the mutas were going and then rotate it to the natural, but Sziky punishes the transit by killing off 2 of those medics, and that final medic is on seriously low energy. Finally has that academy back up and running to replenish that medic count, but he has very little healing available to him. So he's going to land this factory to kind of body block and choke up the natural, make it harder for the Lings to get in here. Muta's swinging around to the back of the base to deny the production of science vessels.
Yeah, it's actually going to be Valkyrie, so the Omni just start.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Gonna clean up all this bio, actually, and suddenly there's not really much left for Mihu, just these turrets, really, and a couple Marines.
Oh, he's taking a lot of damage from these turrets, but he knows as soon as he clears out this defensive position, the game is pretty much won once you get on top of the Terran production line, and medics are popping out of the barracks. So there's not really much anti-air. You can kind of leapfrog turrets back to the barracks again, but if there's Lings as well as Mutas in your main base, it's pretty much over, man. Sziky is doing it.
Yeah, he really, that timing of when he pounced on that bio, we really saw the added damage right from the stems and the lack of medics. That we had one medic with 0 energy, essentially trying to heal, 20 dudes. So, yeah, by the time he engaged those mutas, they just instantly died.
Yeah, that was a massive sausage party, man. Wasn't a fun time for the Marines at all. He's completely dead. GG is called, and Sziky takes a game off Mihu. Yeah,
nice for Sziky. I was curious what we'd see out of Sziky. We got 2 different all-ins, but yeah, that muta control, I enjoyed watching that. That was very, very good.